Hello, lovely people. I think I got my camera a little low there. Let's see if I can fix that. A little crooked. Could have fixed that before I went live, but I'm an amateur. I hope everyone's having a lovely Saturday night. This is a bonus stream as I get some more coloring done on this episode of The Middle Age. Let's see where we are. Tabard. Also testing a few other things this evening. Kind of invisible in the interface, but I've adjusted the microphone and adjusted the audio again. I found that the audio when I checked out a replay was still way too hot. Like the music was very loud, which is fine, but then I'm not going to shout over it. But again, I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Hey LJ, how are you? Let's see if I can get this chat going. It may or may not work. Look at that. All right. So we're trying a different thing below. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works on with the twitches and everything else. But I am coloring right now. The next episode, 277, and we didn't finish it on Thursday. I did a little bit of work on it yesterday. Wait. Yeah, today's Saturday. Oh my gosh, what a blur. Okay, our light source is coming from here. But I've tried a few more things. If anybody subscribes or follows on Twitch or YouTube, maybe even YouTube, we might get an alert on the screen. We'll see. And I'm checking to see if I like the font sizes and all that stuff. But if you're catching this and you don't know who I am, my name is Steve Conley. I'm a web cartoonist. I have been for ages. My webcomic is called The Middle Age. I'm working on episode 277 here. It is been going on for about 5 years. It's been nominated for Eisners and Ringos and even a National Cartoonist Society award. There are a few collections out there, but it's totally free to... They're print collections if folks want to own books. But if you want to just read it on your phone, it's on WEBTOON and Tapas. It's also on my own website at middleagecomic.com and at GoComics, where you can read it alongside Peanuts and Calvin and Hobbes and all that stuff. Yeah, this is very close. Right now, I've got the tabard. I've got his shirt to do. I've got his blade and the hilt of the sword. Blah, 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 blah. I'm also going to move some of the figures around a little bit. I'm probably going to duplicate the document, flatten some things. Wait, before that, I've got to put in some blue shadows. I put shadows everywhere. Then I'm going to move the figures down. Once the shadows are in place and I like how the shadows look, then I'm going to duplicate the document, flatten some things, and move them around. And only once I've got them all where I want them to be, then we'll be in good shape. Okay. Nope, let's still do some shadows. Got ahead of myself. Oh, LJ, I got the links you sent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it via Patreon. I appreciate those links. Very helpful. I haven't watched the Discord video through, but that's on my to-do list. I got sidetracked looking at some Nomad Sculpt tutorials. I think this inner highlight here, well, I'm going to draw on it right here. This highlight's too strong. It doesn't make that much sense. It makes the arm look thin and weak. I'm going to probably get rid of it. At least on the upper arm. I think it'll still be there on the forearm. But still working on the tabard. No tabard in the last panel. So I did a layer of multiply and I'm doing a layer of screen. I am going to work on a new... Once this episode's done, I'm I've got a ton of freelance work I'm working on right now this week, which I hope to wrap up this week. But then I'm going to record a new video, webcomic shop talk video. I haven't done one of those in a while. It's going to be a simple one. I looked through some of the comments I had for the previous videos I've had, and there's a lot of great questions, and so the video will just be answering those questions. Kind of a celebration. I never did anything for reaching the 1,000 subscriber milestone, so that will be it. Kind of a yay, 1,000 subscribers, and here's answering some questions. I got a really good one just the other day. What was it? It was about urging the characters in the story and the author to ask questions of the reader as a way to kind of keep the story sticky, kind of keep people hooked. That people will stick around if there's a unanswered question. And the question was a good one. It's like, does it have to be an explicit question? Does it have to have a question mark at the end of it, or can simply be the elements of the plot? And I think that's a great question, because I didn't really go into that in the video. But you absolutely can. You know, this will be one of the questions I will script a more refined answer, or at least outline one and then just improvise on the spot. But a bit more. This is part of the thought that'll go into it. I think suspense counts. So if you end an episode with a character turning their head and go, "What?" That's a hook. That will get people to click onto the next episode, I think. I don't think you can do it every episode. I don't think it can be that kind of whose line is it anyway, where everything is a question, although I kind of like that. I do that often in the comic, where someone asks something. I love it. A character asks something, and then the other character asks a different question, because each character is sort of like, I mean, every character is kind of arguing with the other one. You know, they just shouldn't stop to say, "Hey, don't change the subject." But each one should kind of stay on it, because they're all entering these situations with an agenda. In this case, Quimp wants to know what's happened to Phosphine, and the king has an agenda which we don't know about, so or he hasn't been clear yet with. So, but again, always lots of questions in my comics. I think what it does too is it's a good reminder that characters have needs, and that a good way of illustrating a need is a need for information, and so asking that question really helps. You know, they're always working toward their goal, to achieving that quest, or, you know, not always explicitly a quest, but again, like it could be, where are my car keys? I use that example in the video I did, but I know it's not a very compelling mystery, but I was just trying to show that even the most trivial mystery can be interesting. Seinfeld could have, you know, where's my car parked? Turned into a half-hour mystery. Oh my goodness. There we are. Hey, Matthew. Nice to see you. I saw that you started posting stars to WEBTOON. If you don't know Matthew's work, folks who are online now or online later, or catching the replay of this, Matthew is responsible for the Pixar-like titles of Swords and Stars. There's two different titles, not Swords and Stars, although crossover. Swords and Stars, and like Pixar, he puts out a quality product. But I believe they're both available on Webtoons, and they're all over. I mean, Matthew's owning Reddit and Instagram at the moment. I don't mean just at the moment, like it's like, oh, there's a shelf life. No, I mean, He's easy to find there if you look. Oh, no, I really dig your work. I was talking about the other day about how someone was talking about how, what if, I mean, the Middle Age and swords kind of has similarities-ish in that it's got talking swords, but that's kind of like where it ends. It's more like it's, yeah, they're both comedies, but they're just different. And, you know, and I was talking about it in the terms of, like, nobody else could do swords. Just as I hope nobody else could do the Middle Age. So similarities don't matter at that point. I mean, getting back to Pixar, that might be a great example. They did the movie Planes, or Disney did, and not Pixar. They were the same company, but at some point they were doing cars, but they were planes, and it looked like cars, but it wasn't. It didn't have the Pixar label, and I don't. There's a story there. I would love to know what it was, but I think clearly Pixar was like, no, that's not us, and you could tell. It was like that even the own company couldn't do cars with wings, and it was. I'm certain it wasn't the wings that got in the way. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. I was mentioning I don't quite like Quimp colors, chainmail, black, nice thin brush. Hopefully this music volume is okay. I've changed it up again, yet again. And I'm trying a few new things. Oh yeah, please do. I'll post a link. But I've tried a few new things. Like there's a new chat feature system below. It's centered nicely, but I could probably scooch it to the left and widen it up a bit. And there's supposed to be on-screen graphics if somebody subscribes or follows, but I don't know if that's Twitch exclusive. I'm hoping it's gonna. I would love to find one that will reflect both Twitch and YouTube. Okay, that's better. That'll put more shadow into the corner there. I'm gonna hide the chainmail and fix that metal. It's kind of a bonus stream. Again, I just wanted to test the audio, test the new overlay graphics, just test the new chat, which seems to be working fine. There doesn't seem to be any I don't know if there's no visible indicator which it's from. I like the other chat I have, which shows this is YouTube and this is Twitch. I like that. I like people knowing that they're seeing people in other environments. Matthew says, I recall Planes having some kind of controversy because John Lasseter was the only person pushing it. That makes sense. It's weird how almost non-commercial so many of Pixar's projects are. WALL-E, Brave, Ratatouille. You know, they didn't really go for the gimmick voiceover artist. I mean, I think I joked at the time that when they did WALL-E, if it had been a DreamWorks production, you know, Seth Rogen would have been the voice of WALL-E. They don't really seem to, you know, Holly Hunter and people like that for Incredibles. It doesn't really seem, you know, sure they can exploit the heck out of it, but their choices, their creative choices, at least at the initial stages, don't quite seem so money hungry. But Toy Story, I see always from the get-go seemed like, oh no, this is a pure product placement. This is, I mean, I wonder if Hasbro was paying at the end, or if Disney was just licensing them. I don't know which way the money was flowing at that point. Nightmare Fuel? Was that Seth Rogen as the voice of WALL-E? Okay, let's I have 2 sets of inks. Let's ignore that other one. Okay, I made that fix. The tabard's done. Is it done? It's done adjacent. Let me clean up a little bit. I kind of got distracted by making that fix to the armor. I'm going to put one more layer of shadow in there just to give it a little more mass. Ba-bum. I eventually go back through this particular color blue and add shadows everywhere, but the tabard seems to need it. I use this inside the cape as well to kind of give the cape, because usually I just add more and more layers of color, of the same color, but I can't really do that with the red. The red, you just keep adding red and red, and it doesn't really, it just gets muddier. Okay. Toy Story 2 was originally slated to be straight VHS release. Oh, wow. Huh, that's great. Sequels to sell on VHS on Christmas was something in every film's contract for all. Very interesting. I'm going to see if my other chat is still cooking underneath the one below me. I'm going to try to change a few things. Let me turn off that chat, turn that one on. And that's a chat from who knows when. Oh no, that's NPC. I saw NPC, I thought that can't be a new one. Well, good. I'm glad I woke you up, NPC. Time to get up and do some work. No. You were in bed and you saw the NPC symbol in the sky. So I spent the day doing quite a bit of my day doing freelance work, and I'm hoping that this will be done so I can go live Monday, and I can hopefully get back on my Monday schedule, with Tuesday's stream being me drawing episode 278. And thanks, NPC. With hopefully me getting back on my at least weekly schedule. Enough of these shenanigans. Although the freelance work is wrapping up. Fingers crossed, if everything gets approved. We kind of had a Norman Osborn back to formula moment last week. But not that bad. Not that bad. I don't think it's fair to talk about the new Spider-Man movie in chat, so please don't. I will, but I think it's okay to give it a thumbs up. I can give it a thumbs up. No, and also please, no coy non-spoilers. Sometimes people add like a, someone didn't want to spoil. And I know it's like it is a moratorium, but not with the Sony Spider-Man movies. I mean, they seem to be sitting on them for forever, and now the only way to see it is to. I think it's still in theaters, but to pay $20, and who knows in which countries. So it's not fair. But it was one of the Star Wars films where it's like someone was being. It's always someone who's trying to be clever, and they. They talk about, well, I guess Han wouldn't be shooting first again. It's like that's a spoiler. That's just, you're not talking about the movie. You're being you think you're being Joel Hodgson, and you're not. But the freelance is the cartooning. I'm doing a lot of coloring and lettering for a educational project, and then I'm doing maps for a series of trail guides in Florida. And every label will be the word quack, just to keep it consistent with my other work. Matthew, if you're still there, I'd be curious. Are you going to be creating more of the Quest Sprout plushes? Can you run a second campaign through that site? Because I missed out on them, and I'm kicking myself. So with the shirt color on Quimp, I use the color dodge. I use a layer of the exact same color, and I set it to color dodge, and I put that in there. I like what effect color dodge has on browns. It creates kind of a... It tends to pull out the red in the color and makes it look more leathery to me. Okay, that's good enough. I'm going to put in some highlights and call the shirt done. I think I could show you briefly. Let me show you briefly what I was working on. This is what I was coloring earlier today. Will it load? So, cows. It's not my artwork. It's not my art. It's just my colors. Something different, but none of those bright highlights and none of those ridiculous over-the-top highlights I put on everything. No plans right now. They don't tend to do repeats unless... Oh, right, the wizard, like a wizard head first. That's funny. But I do have other designs I need to finalize, so maybe... Oh, thanks, NPC. There's all those rafters in there, and I kind of was getting into... I was putting too much stuff into them. It's actually... I'm really happy with it. I stumbled onto a new approach for me to color more naturalistic things, and it's much simpler than what I do with this, with, you know, kind of glazing upon glazing upon glazing of color. There it's more like the faces I'll put the effort into, and maybe hands, things like that. But for the rest of it, the rest of the environment, I kind of just use a blue shadow on everything. And it's essentially the blue shadow I put, the very final thing I do on the Middle Age coloring process. And that gave it a lot of, I don't know, the environment just looks better. I mean, all the shadows have a blue tint to them, and then I put in a kind of golden highlight as the highlight color, and that's it. Very rarely will I do anything besides those two colors, and I like the effect. And it's a billion times faster. Set to multiply. I'm just going to put in some shading on the sword here. Originally the shading lines were kind of in just any reflected thing that hopefully wasn't going to be confusing to somebody, but now it's more like I'm trying to reinforce the direction it's moving. So I want to use those lines as kind of like internal motion lines for the thing. You know, I don't think anyone will pick up on that, but it's like if I got to pick a direction, I might as well do that. So saying before NPC, I plan this week of doing another one of those webcomic shop talk videos where it's basically going to be celebrating having 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's, well, you know, belated, but use it as an excuse to do a video where I basically just go through and answer so many of the questions people had and all the comments people had on the various videos. Okay, I'm just going to put some splashes of brighter white in there, help it pop. And then I gotta look for the handle. Every once in a while you can see a bit of the handle, which is made of the same, but I use the same color. Yeah, I don't think I need to put much into that. Let's call that done. Where are we? Oh, Oh, thanks, LJ. Um, oh, that's great, NPC. Yeah, I started doing the videos with basically a friend of mine and I. We were both gonna be doing videos, and kind of stalled at the beginning. I'm hoping he'll pick it up. He was doing like D&D kind of, shop talk videos of his own, like being a good dungeon master, ways to improve the game, and really funny topics too, like the worst magic items and stuff like that. I hope he comes back to it. I spent some time this week urging him, because I didn't expect anybody to watch any of my videos, and then that first one just really took off. I don't think any of them became Patreon supporters, but in the end that's fine, because it's like they're fellow cartoonists. I'm hoping they don't. They should focus on their own project. I'd love the support, but also, like I was talking about the other day, I feel like it's kind of mercenary for cartoonists to ask other cartoonists for support. It's the idea of going through Artist Alley, and you buy from the person sitting next to you, they buy from you. It's like two artists supporting each other on Patreon. You're basically just giving Patreon money. There is a caveat to that, I think. If the person is producing physical goods, support on Patreon and things like that, and trades kind of makes sense, because the more of those things you produce, the cheaper per unit they become. So there is some value in all that. But it's, very mathy, and so by and large, I don't think people are thinking that way. It's more like, I don't know, it's like people go into some of the comic forums on Facebook, and they have to be rules saying, please don't spam this forum, because the cartoonists just want, and I get that, want readers at all costs, and readers is one thing. I take that back. I mean, having a community of fellow cartoonists, that's awesome, but every once in a while I get the sense that hey, here's my Patreon. And does it get sticky when you start talking about Kickstarters, where artists and people within a community are supporting it? I saw that with a Kickstarter recently, where it appeared to be a big group within a writing community. Like each one would buy their other person's book, and so you can immediately succeed. Your Kickstarter will do well, and I don't know. The only people who lose out are the people who don't actually produce a book. So it's not a pyramid scheme if everybody's charging roughly the same and everybody's buying each other's book. In the end, it'll be a wash, but at least you'll get your book out, I think. Too much math for Saturday night. All right, I'm gonna put a little highlight there. That sword color is wrong there. Oh, close enough. Did I watch any of the Raid Thursday? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit of it. I thought they were pretty good with their voice work. On Thursday I was testing. That is very wrong. What's going on there? I like that. I like that blue highlight, that glint. I don't know if I intended that, but I'm sticking with it. I'm certain I didn't intend that. Oh, I'm on the color dodge layer, that's why. Oh well, I like it. We're sticking with it. Oh! There's a question LJ had. Brush cursor. It kind of gets in my way, but I'm hoping people will like... Wait, I just said brush cursor. It's on. Why don't we see it? I wonder if it's the color of the thing you're drawing. I remember at one point I had activated the brush cursor, and then it was gone. I don't know. I didn't make any changes to the settings, and I've colored outside the lines. I'll have to fix that. Let me splash a little more white there. Oh, there's a. You can see the cursor there a bit. Duplicate the hilt, combine those layers, and select, invert, delete, clear. Cool, the basic colors are done now. I'm going to put some shadows in. So, there are some things I need to do, like move. I'm going to put these shadows in first. First I'm going to start with Quimp, and then I'll do the King. I was going to try to do something fancy, but nope. So I'm going to flatten, copy, undo, paste. And that basically puts a copy of the colors down without having me to duplicate too many layers. Select, multiply, turn that off, choose my blue shadow color, Steve's brush, and then I adjust the opacity to about 55, 60. The exact number doesn't matter. Stupid question. Why are the swords transparent? Oh, in this case, it is because I'll be moving them on top of each other a little bit later on. So Quimp and the King will be on separate layers. So I can put effects between them. So where the two swords are hitting, there'll be a clang sound effect and a kind of a light. So it'll help them pop. But currently, the inks are all above the colors. Eventually, the inks will be merged with the colors, and that will solve a lot of this. So you can see me drawing through here. Eventually, the King's upward hand with holding the sword, that will be separate unto itself. It'll be separate from the King even. So that's why you can see the lines of the hand crossing over into the King's skull. That's going to go away. And you can see bits of the Quimp's cape and some overdrawing as I drew through those shapes to kind of finish the swoops and things like that. Alright, some shadows. To do this, I'm going to turn the King's colors off and turn the King off. Goodbye. I flattened that thing to use it as a selection. Have some coffee. I have no idea who's on Saturday night. I'm sure if they are on, they're all watching Elden Ring or on Twitch or something like that. Something a bit more cinematic. Okay. The light's coming from... Well, the color's all over the map on this one. When the lighting is. So the idea with this is you rarely see this kind of hard shadow inside in the middle edge, unless the object is really close to the thing casting the shadow. Like sometimes, ooh, what did I do there? Maybe that's obscured by the king. Maybe it won't matter. There's some little bits poking out there. I'm assuming that's all behind the king and it won't matter. But I put these hard shadows in, and then I'm going to go back with a brush and erase I'm going to soften one edge. Don't want that to look transparent. I gotta watch that out. Like if I drew the shadow to look like that, it would look like you're seeing through the sword. I usually don't include these shadows on the woe blade. I might delete them in a moment. I don't hate it. Now I could, maybe I will. I'll just try this out to see if I like it. Every once in a while I'll put like a crazy harsh shadow, like representing the sword and the arms, cutting across the whole figure. That's what I think Wally Wood would have done that. And this one I have to curve to represent the curvature of our hero. Yeah, I like that. It brings his arms forward. Okay. How are we doing it on Earth? We're doing good. Got some people on, according to these stats, if they mean anything. I've dropped a handful of frames. But I didn't really... Okay, I am dropping some frames, but I'm also loading more data. Various... all these overlays I'm pulling in now. Redundant overlays. Ooh, I can delete that one. I don't think I'm going to use it because I do like, again, well, I don't know. When I post using the chat, I don't think it credits me. I think it credits Restream. Let's take a look. Yeah, it says Restream. It doesn't say my name. So, but what does the other one say? Turn off Restream, turn on that one. Ah, that one gives me credit from 2 sites because it's pulling. Oh, look at you over on the side there. I didn't notice those little icons on the side. Those are twitchy icons. Oh. I think. Curious. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay. And sometimes I color outside the lines. I hate that, but you know, whatever. Dropping these shadows on top sometimes mitigates any extra color peeking out that I missed. So I did a raid of a D&D game the other day when my stream ended, and I'm not entirely sure I like doing that. One of the reasons why is it's clearly not a good marketing idea. You see my name, but there's no icons to the side. It doesn't give you any... like I was hoping that it would say, maybe there's a setting I can tweak where it will say that you're posting from YouTube or Twitch. My system on the side says it, but that's pulling from Restream, not from the other service below. So, always more to learn. But I could tell you, if you're getting onto Twitch in order to get more subscribers or whatever, don't raid a Dungeons and Dragons stream, because they're not going to interrupt their discussion of fighting the Dread Lich if you're you know, they're not going to, just because you stream them, just because you raid them with a number of people, they're not going to interrupt what they're doing to talk about that, I don't think. So you want to raid somebody like me who's vamping, like, oh yeah, well, yeah, oh well, thank you millions of people, hello people of Earth, that sort of thing. So an artist who's going to notice is probably your best bet. Or a streamer with millions of people. I bet that's probably logical. You could probably search for people who are. That's more than I already want to think about it. Let me put this whole leg in shadow. It's under him. Oh. And I see that sometimes we get that cursor you were talking about, LJ, but sometimes we don't. I forget, how close is the swoop here? I think that makes the sword look like it's way too close to his belly when you dodge that shot in a way that doesn't make much sense. Oopsie. Every once in a while I miss a holding line, and that's what we get. Whoa! Just scared the hell out of me. Wait, so it doesn't appear anyplace else, that information. Subscriber, hello. So that was over on YouTube. It might have been fantastic. Okay, that's weird. This chat below is so fast, it appears there faster than it does in my little restream thing on the side there. But thank you, DEG. Nice to see you. I don't get like a running list of interactions or anything like that. And it doesn't add it to the list below. I wish it did. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for subscribing. Put more shadow under here for our hero's rotundness. And yet I'm going to soften all the edge of these shadows with a brush. Maybe not the shadows that the sword casts, but a lot of the other ones. Okay. Light's coming from where? Middle of the room, right above his head, or right behind him. DEG. That was on Twitch, though. I technically processed a few days ago, so maybe it was before you dropped affiliate. Oh, there we go. The system is weird. But see, you get fancy icons. You get fancy schmancy icons. Below on the thing. Very interesting. Well, nice to see you. Okay, I was going to say, I think this whole back leg I want to have in shadow. Yeah, I decided to test some new things out, test some new chat functions. I was hoping to find one that would include YouTube events as well. Like if someone becomes a subscriber, aka follower on YouTube, if it would give them the fancy graphics, the heart attack inducing graphics. I need to figure out how to change that. Oh wow, so that was a second sub. Well, not ever. I hope when I log into the Twitch dashboard it says, hey, you know, you're eligible to become an affiliate. So I think I'll be back. I think I'm gonna wait for my Twitch subscribers to move up in number. Like when it won't become a struggle, because I mentioned YouTube numbers immediately plummeted. Not just minutes viewed, because that makes sense, of course. There's a lot less content on YouTube, but some new subscribers dried right up. It was very surprising to see it vanish so quickly. And as soon as I started live streaming again, I think this is the thing about social media, where when they're trying to create a new section or try to build out a new area, Foster Sister maybe. What a combo. And what was I saying? Wait. If I go back, so that's what I was saying about social media. Excuse me, forgive me. Total meltdown. I should have sipped a cup of coffee. I know what I'm thinking about. I'll just drink for 5 minutes. Just put that to my lips as my brain rattles around trying to figure out what I was talking about. When the social media sites are growing, that's when they'll be very generous with eyeballs and attention, and it's when they're done growing and they just want to milk the existing audience for every iota of attention or money. That's when they get all difficult. And so right now I think YouTube is looking at Twitch and TikTok and thinking, we want to do live stuff, and we're not really known for that in the same way. And so right now I think they're promoting these videos, the live videos on YouTube, in a way that Twitch doesn't have to, or Twitch's infrastructure doesn't seem to be built to support. I mean, that seems to be the consensus of the Twitch people who I've watched their videos, many on YouTube. They seem to say that the trick for Twitch was they would tell everybody, oh, you want to stream every single day, always be streaming. And now the consensus is that, or seems to be, I have a very small sampling, it seems to be that, you know, the thing is build an audience elsewhere and then bring them to Twitch. In which case, you know, that's a bizarre argument for a social media site. I presume they think of themselves as a social media site. But again, Twitch still has the raids, which nobody else has, and that really it's an amazing thing. So I started softening these shadows already. I have to go back to the first couple of panels and soften those. I was going to put all the hard shadows in and then soften them, but a few of these ones I wanted to do while I still had them fresh in my mind. Yeah, I like that shadowy back leg. It kind of helps push the whole thing back. I think I'm going to even shadow the... Whoa! For the love of... Sweet... Well, I'm there too. I'm just not only there. And I logged back into YouTube for a test thing, and NPC was there. Lights were off. Wonder where I'd been. And what I like too is that having both of the platforms makes the chat richer, because we just get comments from both platforms, and suddenly it's like, because I think if you visit a Twitch chat and there's 3 people in it or 2 people in it, you're like, okay, what are we doing here? What's going on here? What's the conversation? And then I have little to, I mean, I can vamp, I can read, I could. I subscribe to the channel. Oh, now this other thing is. I'm so confused. So yes, I've got multiple overlays happening, and I was testing to see which ones worked, and that one's nicer, I'll tell you. That one doesn't give me a coronary. But do check out Try Erase Girl's Twitch channel. I saw her stream, and I think she's got an amazing Twitch presence. I like her presentation style and on-screen, very charismatic. And I would say, yeah, keep an eye out for that. I don't hate that at all. Oh wait, I can put more shadows in here. Interesting. Above a certain size, the cursor will appear. LJ. So if I'm zooming out, it seems not to appear because it's too small. It's below a certain pixel size, and so it doesn't attempt to render it. But when I zoom in, you can see it's very subtle, but it's there. So a little better in terms of calling attention to where I'm working. Okay, how are the shadows on that panel? I think they're good. I'm going to soften that one on the inside of the face just a little bit. The light from the collar on the cheek. Soften that shadow under the cape on the arm just a little bit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like doing these too. The gloves casting a shadow on the armor. And I soften them a little bit. Okay. How we doing? That was the YouTube sub notification, I think. That's fantastic. Okay, so YouTube is appearing as a nice light sparkly doodad, and that is summoned by stream elements. Stream Elements has been extremely YouTube centric and not at all Twitch centric, and I can't seem to figure out why. But the heart attack inducing cudgel magic Mjolnir slam in the middle of the screen, that's Twitch. So and there are, like, so far I saw there was they love of and okay, that was Twitch. I'm glad I bumped up the music volume for me a little bit, and that's kind of helping to keep me from getting... I'm so glad the music's on. If it was just me in the silence and that hammer hit. I'm using Streamlabs. I know. I talked about Streamlabs, and they were having some what I would easily call problematic stuff. In that they were kind of sort of unscrupulous business practices, not the more kind of standard corporate evil, and not the usual stuff that riles folks up. They were copying a website of a competitor fairly blatantly. They built their system mostly around the free software OBS and promised never to call themselves OBS, and then called themselves OBS for the longest time. And only when they got flack from... Okay, how do I characterize that? They got flack for copying for their competitor's website, and only then did they change the name of their company, or revise their name, because they were getting such a backlash from people. So I do like that they seem to respond to shame. That's a healthy thing. If they do something wrong, they should feel bad about it and correct their behavior, and then that's when I think I can be forgiving. I think. I don't know how the people they offended feel. I kind of want to feel solidarity with them, but I also want to have both Twitch and YouTube chat below, and having the things that happen on the side there, because I don't want to reward just Twitch folks with the beautiful graphics and the nice explodey things. So I set up the one on Streamlabs, and that's the default one. Apparently, is the heart attack inducing one that happens. So currently that's a perk for anybody who wants to become a follower on Twitch. You can take a good hour off of my life by causing the computer to make a horrible sound. And okay, if I can upload my own graphic at some point, or audio for those things, I will change that to the I've just taken 1 hour of your life away. I see that David Peterson uses sounds from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So apparently we can import different audio. Now I'm going to create a new layer for this set of shadows. I'm doing the exact same shadowy bit. I'm just doing it on a new layer so I can easily erase, I can overlap things without messing up the other shadows I've already put down. So all the coloring is done, and now I'm just going in and putting in shadows. And when I say all the coloring is done, there's also one more step. I talked about the color splash thing. I'm going to do that too. So you get to see that, although they're not going to be in an environment they're going to be in a very simple environment as they're fighting. It's all about the dialogue and the sword slashes. It's not about the tent that they're currently fighting in. Okay, I'm going to soften these shadows. I feel like, is that good? I could add one more shadow on the hand. Being cast by the sword down. Soften that. Nice tiny watercolor brush. I'm going to pull out just a little bit of shadow on the back here. A little bit. Okay. Okay. So this is not so much the shadow of the form as much as the shadows the forms are casting on each other. And I love this blue shadow. It's not a... It's just super nice. Oh. Just softening the shadow of the sword on his torso there. It's a little bit. Just so it's not that flat color. I do want the shadow of the sword to be much more... have a much more rigid outline than some of the other shadows. I mostly don't want any of the shadows to have rigid outlines. But the ones the sword casts, I want that to be hard-edged. So I'm just going through and erasing one edge of the shadows to soften them. Real easy. Ooh, I forgot one. I like having one under the cape. I think that adds a lot. And that really makes the cape pull forward a bit. Helps create the volume of the arm. Let me try softening this shadow here on the sword. See if it needs it. And I will cheat and look at how it looks on the screen there. Yeah, I like it softer. I don't... Although, I clearly messed something up. I have to make sure I don't... When I was erasing this bit, I kind of cut into that other area, and I didn't want to do that. Oh, I love undo. Okay. DG. It doesn't matter where we are when it takes Steve 10 minutes to look at chat. It does indeed. Well, anyone who reads my comic knows I'm obsessed. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I almost want it to ping every time somebody makes a sound, type something up, but Max is everywhere. I'm so glad. Oh my goodness, there was so much. Steve, what was that noise? Noise? Oh my goodness, was another subscription notice? Something somewhere? Oh my god, there's so much chat that I missed. I'm a doof. I'm adept at self-talk. Yeah, see, people who are able to vamp properly, this is no problem for them. LJ, I presume that... Okay, thank you. DG wrote, that was the YouTube sub notification, I think. Yes. So there's going to be a heart attack inducing sound that I'm terribly sorry for. I forgot it's not just scaring the hell out of me, it's scaring the hell out of everybody. So I will tweak that, I promise. The very first thing I looked in the Streamlabs settings was volume control for that, and there isn't. It's on or off. I'm like, oh. Haha, wait. Okay, babe. Streamlabs events. Yes, that was that's what it was. Right click, properties, cancel, filters, add an audio filter, gain. name the filter. I name you gain, and I take you down 15 decibels. Or, I don't know, it's a small d, capital B. Maybe that's a micro decibels, who knows? It can't be, I don't know. What do I know about sound? I barely know anything about drawing. Okay, so hopefully that will take the Thor's hammer sound down a little bit. Well, fear of getting canceled. I mean, fear of losing all your customers, I guess. Yeah. I mean, but we've been in an era where people were like immune to it and they just plow ahead as if nothing happened. So I'm glad that they correct course. And I mean, that might be the only, I think that's the only thing that stops a lot of these corporations. What else is going to slow them down? You know? Yeah, I don't think anything's going to stop. Max is everywhere. Max is the doof emote. Okay, I saw there were other parties, other organizations would allow you to create emotes without being the affiliate. Although, again, I plan to be back at being affiliate someday. Oh, are those your DEG? Are those your emotes from Twitch? And does that mean system is that if you do have Twitch as a possessive, not as a plural, if you have Twitch's emotes, will they appear in the chat below? David, hello. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that I'm missing all this stuff. I got it twice. Max, get on my level. Steve should do Steve. Thank you very much, David. You get me. If he's losing money in subs on YouTube, he shouldn't be keeping with affiliate here. Oh, good. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I really just want to get the. I would have made more money off of Twitch than I have in YouTube, being there a year with 1,000+ subscribers and hours, countless hours. No, not countless. I can count them. Many hours on YouTube of view time, and I've never made a nickel from YouTube. Apart from new people who find my work, and I still think new people finding my work is the way for me to make money. Versus my primary income has got to be from the books and Patreon and Kickstarters, things like that. It won't be from YouTube and Twitch until if I have enough followers. Let's say I get to 500 or 1,000 followers on Twitch, I'd reconsider reactivating affiliate. Although I'm not entirely sure if my kind of work would gin up the kind of views. I mean, David, I like watching your work because, I mean, hell, you're fast. I don't know if you feel fast, but compared to me, you it's like you're it's just blazing fast. You know, I'm doing a lot of this. You know, take your seizure meds before visiting my channel. I'm doing a lot of moving around, jumping around, and doing minuscule tweaks. I might as well be doing scrimshaw from orbit. You know, you can't quite see what I'm doing. I'm saying that from the vantage point, the viewer's vantage point of orbit. It made sense in my head. But, you know, to watch your process seems to be much more of an active thing, whereas watching my process seems to be like, oh my God, is paint drying. Although that could be my vanity. All right, thank you. Speed's relative. Yes. Merch site when? I got a store, steveconley.com/shop. One of these things below rambles about it. But you mean a merch store integrated into the chat environment and all that stuff? Yeah, I know. Baby steps. Baby old man steps. Okay, so I'm going to merge my shadow layers together. What I do is I bring them both up to 100% opacity, then merge them, and then cut their opacity down. Because if I don't, they'll have different levels of opacity, and then the letters will pour in. All right, let's work on the king. But I am using Streamlabs now for some of the, you know, Thor's hammer sound effect. if you aren't making any money from YouTube, then you should at least get the cash here. I know you can translate views here to store purchase and web hits. Oh yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think the issue for me was that when I stream on YouTube, I'm getting about 100 new subscribers that Twitch, equivalent of Twitch followers on YouTube. And when I stream on Twitch, that number was dropping precipitously. It was down to like 25 new YouTube subscribers a month. And at the rate I'm growing in YouTube, okay, so the notion is that from everything I've read is Twitch, it's a lot easier to make money sooner, but the percentage of money you make is a lot less, at least from like ad exposures and things like that. Whereas you can make more money on YouTube, it just takes longer to get to that point, and then you get a larger cut. I'd love to monetize both in some fashion, but the main thing for me is I'm going to at least run on every platform until my Kickstarter for Volume 3 happens, because I want to be able to do that on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And so that's, to me, if I want to build up those audiences and have them all on for a big deal. And not to mention, there was a ton of rights issues I had with the audio that I was playing. Stuff I had complete rights to use. When I streamed it on Twitch, downloaded the file, uploaded to YouTube, YouTube gave me a content strike for every single track. And I had to defend each one of those by getting the license. It's a nightmare. I never want to deal with it again. That's why I listen to Kevin MacLeod music right now. But I suspect I can go back to my nice Envato playlists now that I'm streaming live. Anywho, so one thought was stream on Twitch, download it, upload it to YouTube. I also think, as I was talking before, I think YouTube right now is pushing their live streams, trying to get more people watching live. And I think as long as I'm catching them in that moment, I think that's why I'm getting new subscribers the way I am over there. I know people who've been streaming on YouTube for years, and they have 400 subscribers, and I'm getting 90 to 100 a month. And so, who knows what they're worth? Who knows in the end? If eventually YouTube just says, if you want to reach your subscribers, you have to pay. I don't know. But anyway, much more to do. I felt like, to me, the main reason why I dropped the affiliate thing was that I jumped into it not knowing about the ramifications, and I didn't like that. That was on me. But I really want to explore it before I bite the bullet. And when I go into my dashboard, it says, hey, you're qualified to be an affiliate. Come back in at any time. I'm hoping they are legit about that. But subs aren't money. Agreed. But I don't know how many. I totally agree. I want to get paid in exposure. How dare you? No, I want to get it. I want to have a successful Kickstarter. That means reaching as many people as possible. And I don't want to. I don't want to be exclusive until it is truly worth it. And with only 100, not even 94, 95 Twitch subscribers, that's not worth spiting YouTube just yet. To me. And it's not, again, saying none of the decisions are permanent. So I might be back as an affiliate in no time. But I find that every system, I find exclusivity is something I've avoided. When it comes to tech companies, I have commitment issues. Oh. Look at those icons. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think I'm celebrating my 6-month subiversary for David's channel. But if people could support me, I would prefer they do it on a. I mean, I do like the idea that it's the, again, I talked about this before. Oh, for the love of Pete, who's that? Fantastic. That fried my brain. No idea where I was. One of the tricky bits is that the shadow on the king is not the blue color, it's the kind of black color. So it's a little trickier to see sometimes. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought when the system. I turned my phone off. I don't want it. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's an emergency. Let someone else do it. David, was that you? Yeah, a friend of mine just threatened to call me during the stream when it popped up once. But hello, GD Cat. Well, the oh, David, was that really you? That's amazing. I didn't realize. There's a car I used to own, but I still get calls from Honda telling me about the airbags. There's an urgent recall of the airbags I don't have. Okay. But I do like the. I mean, I get the idea of if you want to make money, it's just not how I'd rather get the subscribers. Because I'm still trying to build my audience versus monetize the audience. And I mean, I looked at the amount of money that you get per subscription, and I just don't think that I'm going to earn enough. If I looked at it and thought, "Oh my gosh, this is so good that I can't walk away from it," but I looked at it, and it, you know. Also, like I said before, David, I don't know if you caught that part. The benefit to the conversation by having more people involved in the chat is big. You know, and I do appreciate everybody who came from YouTube over to Twitch, but that speaks to that Twitch's problem of saying, you know, you got to build your audience elsewhere and then bring them to Twitch, and I'm like, whoa, that seems weird. But again, Twitch's raids are the best. I can't say enough good things about that. I don't think there's a better thing in social media than the Twitch raid. Short of Neil Gaiman retweeting you or something. Hey, and there's my spam. Do you have a join option disabled on YouTube? I don't even see it. The join? Streaming on no items found. The join? I don't know what the join option is in YouTube. Feeling older every second. Power's fading. Brand needs increasing. I'm going to soften that shadow a lot. I want it there, but I don't want it to be a hard edge shadow. It makes it look like the sword's just resting on his knee. I'm just trying to put some distance there between them. But definitely softening that up. I sent you a photo, and also there are circular flaws in your position. I am not surprised by either. But I'd be very curious to understand more where my logic is failing me. My sense is that I would want to build an audience before attempting to monetize it. The amount of subscribers I would need to make it worthwhile, just the amount of extra work to upload files to YouTube. I mean, the other choice is to abandon YouTube altogether. But rebroadcasting to YouTube just posed so many technical hurdles because of their whole rights issues. Which, of course, could be like another thing saying, you know, well, don't really want to trust any of these companies. Hello, Brandy. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Also, there's okay, answer your phone. All right, David, answer the phone. I will figure out how to... I don't think I can pipe it into the chat, but I'm happy to... I didn't turn my phone off. Abandon is a strong word. Is it that might be loaded. All right. No, you don't be bad there. Hello. Oh my goodness. Is it? Let me see if I can actually get this thing to. Oh, it just hung up. There it is again. One more time. Hello. First time, long time put on speaker is what someone's saying. All right. Let me turn off my let me turn off the background audio. Let's see if this works. And advanced audio properties, background music. No, but I have the music playing so I can hear it. If I turn on the speaker, I don't know if it would hear you at all. Go back to phone. Why is it not? There we are. Audio speaker.
Hey, first time caller.
Hello.
All right. So, right now, you are playing Kevin MacLeod music.
I am.
But you're streaming on Twitch.
Yes.
So, if exclusively to Twitch with Kevin MacLeod music, and then uploading the video to YouTube is a problem, why aren't you playing the music you want to right now?
Because I haven't reset that. I was testing 2 other technical bits at the moment.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's out of laziness, not something else.
Well, and I do kind of like Kevin's music. The tracks I found we're getting rave reviews, and also this gave me a chance to tweak the background music volume. I watched a restream of yesterday's or Thursday's, and it was still a little too loud, so I wanted to lower it a little bit more, and then watch this again later and see if my voice is competing with the music again.
Okay. Because I'm thinking, the amount of, first of all, to get to the monetization point on YouTube, it has nothing to do with subscribers or what are they? I can't remember the term. Followers. Sure.
I'm sorry. On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
They're
that's subscribe.
Their subscriber. Their followers are called subscribers.
Right. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. It has to do with hours viewed.
Right.
Before you're going to start making any money. So looking at your how many new subscribers you're getting on YouTube as a metric, I don't know that that's really doing anything unless you absolutely know that the subscribers on YouTube are translating to hits on your website or sales in your store.
I do know they are. And I to me, the value of getting a subscriber to get a customer off of YouTube, well, it's multiple pieces to that. To get a customer or a Patreon supporter off of off of a YouTube stream. Again, my premise is this: nobody knows who I am, so to reach out to a larger audience, getting new people to discover who I am is huge. And in the last few months, I mean, just starting to stream to both platforms, I met DEG, MPC, many of the names you see here, LJ, many of the names you see here, only from streaming and streaming to both platforms. And MPC and LJ and JRD were fine to come over to Twitch, but I was still thinking about my most engaged people. The most engaged people who I talked to on Twitch were people I brought to the platform. So in terms of an outreach tool, it seems like Twitch, apart from the miracle of raids, is not, and your kind generosity, and no, but also there was another streamer. I'm drawing a blank. Loading artist who raided. And apart from the occasional generosity, but that generosity can still take place while I grow my audience on YouTube. And I also know that to monetize on YouTube, you have to have 4,000 hours in a 12-month period. And I was getting close with like 3,800. And then I went exclusive on Twitch, and the number dropped. And since I've never made a nickel off of YouTube, apart from turning those people into readers, exposing them to my work, and a few of them are share the questionable judgment I have of liking my work. So apart from that, I've not made enough money off of any of these programs. So it's nice. It was lovely to come onto Twitch and suddenly hit the affiliate level, and then DEG and others, supported me right out of the gate. But I think if I had known it was going to be exclusive, I would have taken longer to jump in with both feet. So
yeah, I hear you that it sucks that you didn't feel like you were informed. That got sprung on you, absolutely. But I don't know. I feel like there is a little bit of a joke or a little bit of truth to the joke of you only get paid an exposure on YouTube.
Absolutely. Although the the trouble with I think with a lot of the argument of that is that I view both of these platforms as outreach and not as revenue generation, first and foremost, because my money is made by selling my books. I mean, I'm selling copies on Amazon. I'm selling copies from my store. People are subscribing becoming Patreon supporters. And to me, the big deal is once I do my next Kickstarter video, I want to be able to broadcast to every one of these platforms at once. And if that falls on its face, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I'd rather get the crumbs over on Twitch or,
I've heard, and I think you can do this without it being a live thing. I think you can set videos as premieres on YouTube.
Right.
I think you just you film promos and stuff like that are just short, not stream things, and you share them on YouTube. You share them on social media. But if you're already digging the Kevin MacLeod music, and everybody else is giving you compliments, and now you've got your sound all adjusted.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. I think as I learn these platforms, as I learn these platforms better in a more informed way, like understanding that I'm going to hit this, that even though I got the legit rights, it was such a pain in the butt because not only did YouTube content snag all the tracks of the songs, they missed their robots. Gave them wrong names. So for me to respond to each one, I had to know which one did they really mean. And it really was half an hour of my life. And I thought every time I upload, I'm gonna spend an hour a week doing that. I'm like, no. So I think, but knowing full well that was an incredible learning experience. That 2-3 weeks of being Twitch affiliate. I think when I go into it again, and I will at some point down the road. Maybe at the partner level, I'll be going in with my eyes open.
But you were streaming to YouTube before affiliate.
Yes.
And you were using you were using the music that got you copyright strikes.
Yeah, not a problem. Apparently, if you stream live there, it circumvents whatever automatic systems. Like I think uploading and processing flags it in a different way. But for some reason, I never had to deal with it when I streamed live.
That seems very suspicious.
Yeah, indeed.
It seems suspicious that it would, at any point, the other shoe could drop, and they could just be like, "Oh, by the way, all these things that you streamed, we're going to do content strikes on all of them."
Right, exactly. And
now you have 30. Now you have 32 of them to fix.
Right, and the thing is, not only could they, but hopefully they wouldn't do that with the Kevin MacLeod music because I'm following the rules with the MacLeod music. And because he's got a better relationship with all the streaming platforms, whereas the other person I licensed the music from, less so. I think they just don't have the same, the deep roots that MacLeod has.
Yeah, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just it's for some reason it's hiccuping the algorithm.
Yeah.
I also think that you're trying to compare some apples and oranges here with, like, you've been doing YouTube for a really long time, and so now you have this base there. And then you come over to Twitch, and you start Twitch, and within a couple months, you're like, how come I only have 4 people watching my stream? Like, well, yeah, when you started on YouTube, you didn't have a whole lot of views there either.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, I totally agree.
It takes time to build this, and the thing is, you're going to start making money while you're building this. So I get that you're maybe not going to get quite as many viewers at first, but I think you can build this up fairly quickly and translate those people into sales, into readers.
I totally agree. I think, and what my big worry was when I went through the offboarding process with Twitch affiliate, really simply automated, and they had a lovely, it was. I like the personality they put into their automated messages. I'll say that. But when I logged back into my dashboard, when it was over, when they finally, put me back to, I don't know, Muggle status, I I saw that said, hey, you qualify to be a Twitch affiliate, re-sign up at any time. So I think if I allow this audience to grow and then immediately, award massive prizes to DEG and a few of the other folks who supported me from the get-go, I think it'll be a nice... I think I'll segue back into the affiliate program very nicely, but I'll do so eyes wide open, and also in the meantime, maybe get my YouTube subscribers up.
I guess. I mean, I feel like you're leaving money on the table. I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm not even close on that YouTube thing.
Well, are you? Well, okay. Is not getting into specifics. Is Twitch a significant revenue source for you?
Not significant, but so without getting too specific, it pays for some utilities.
Yeah, exactly. That's lovely, and that's what I'd like to see it. I'd love to see it go to that point where it's where I can say, okay, this is going to take care of my cable bill. Yep. That sort of thing.
So, and it's better than it's. Well, I mean, I don't know what your cable bill is, but it's better than that. Yeah. And then I can't do it all the time, but I know that the Twitch viewers are really like loyal and attached when it comes to like caring about helping you, and I feel like I don't get that traction on YouTube. I just get comments, like I'll post a video and I'll get a comment on a video 8 months later that's like, cool.
Right. Oh yeah, that I get. I think
what?
the Twitch audience is so much more engaged. They come to the site with a different set of expectations.
Twitch people are like, how can I support you right now? Where's the button? I also went to your site and I can't download this, and I can't purchase this in my region. Do you offer international shipping? Is it okay to buy two? Like, there's that.
Right.
And there's the direct outreach.
Right.
When you post something in an online store, or you do a little Twitter thing that's like, check it out, I've got this new print or whatever. That's one thing. But when you're talking to your Twitch audience and you're holding it up and you're like, this is what this print means, or you hold it up next to your face. And you're like, 11 by 11 inches means it's actually this big. And it's a really nice quality. You can flick the paper or whatever. You do all that, they are super loyal.
Yeah, and I saw what you did with those mystery boxes of the rare and it was beautiful. I mean,
how the hell could I describe that on my site or on Twitter or Facebook?
Yeah,
it was all through going through and shuffling through those boxes on Twitch that got the audience to buy them.
It was great. I thought that was beautiful.
And I realized that not everybody has it in them to do the 40-hour stream thing of online con that I'm about to walk into again. But the last 2 online cons, I think, have been more successful than any single in-person convention I've ever done.
Because you also run a sale during the con, right?
Yeah.
That's great. That's brilliant.
But those viewers, people watching, and I'm just talking about sales in the store. I'm not talking about subscriptions or tips or anything. None of the Twitch money is getting factored into online cons' financial success. But the sale, advertising that sale through Twitch, doing the big event, showing people what they're getting, doing the commissions, having that interaction. Twitch people want to support you, and they transition to being customers really well.
That's great. I see that every time I log into Twitch. I've been following some miniature painters who are on late at night and things like that. Their audiences are engaged. It's just a different thing. I love it so much. I think not to knock YouTube's, I think YouTube is just, maybe their audience is more jaded, less friendly, maybe older. I don't know. It's a
I don't think that I think YouTube is mostly still people who browse and watch YouTube when they have the time.
Right. Agreed.
And they look for things that already exist. Twitch viewers are looking to interact with a streamer who's streaming right now.
Right. And let me add this wrinkle to the thing. I think by having my YouTube people, my lovely YouTube people, it's all this language is I would fix in post. But the lovely YouTube participants and the people who are kind enough to visit with me as I'm drawing these dumb things, that their communication in the chat below makes the Twitch experience better and will help grow the Twitch experience because it's they just have so much to add. And I'm hoping that who knows, let's say in 4 months' time, I have 500 or 1,000 followers on Twitch. And I go, okay, I'm going to jump into affiliate. And I've now wrapped my head around the steps I'm going to have to take. We're going to be live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Rebroadcast will be posted on, 2 days later, whatever to the second when I'm allowed to legally by the affiliate agreement. And Brandy, thank you so much. I just saw that you modified your Patreon support, so thank you so much. But anywho, I got distracted by that. But I think as both of those audiences grow,
nice it is. See how intoxicating it is when your viewers want to support you and they
absolutely
actually do it with actionable things, and you're depriving them of that. See, you're depriving them of that here on Twitch. Taking away their subscription button.
I was being naughty. I thought, oh, they want to support me. No, you can't. Not just yet.
I'm paying how to get.
No, yeah. I'll say when. You may support me.
I think you're leaving money on the table. I think you could. I think Twitch is also that thing of you. The minute you become an affiliate, all it takes is 5 or 6 viewers to subscribe, and it starts helping immediately.
I agree. I totally agree.
Financially, I mean, like you're getting some cash, and they're going to be more loyal purchasers than I think YouTube viewers are. And then I think, to Illuminated Art's point, both platforms are necessary. Both can coexist. I think Twitch is more about that immediate reaction, and then YouTube is about being around forever. I know that Twitch has a videos page, etc., but I think I get more engagement on people going back and watching YouTube videos than they are browsing my Twitch videos. So sure. I think both serve a necessary purpose, and I think you're in some ways using each one of them to their opposite effect.
Interesting. I maybe I think well, maybe I am. I think that I'm going to give it some more time to grow both of those platforms just a little bit more, and then be able to start the affiliate program up again in a good way. And again, if in 4 months I don't have the numbers on Twitch, well, basically, I'm not going to change any of it until the Kickstarter videos, until those launch videos happen. And then I'm going to go back and look at both of the numbers on Twitch and the numbers on Patreon and the numbers on YouTube and see how do they all shake out. And do I turn YouTube into my archive site of my videos here? And
right.
But again, I started this whole thing up like with a slideshow level frame rate and not knowing the system. I still am only like half cognizant of what I'm looking at on my dashboard. So there's a ways to go. But I feel like having started this technically in December, I kind of feel like I'm doing okay, but there's more to do. But I get what you're saying.
Okay. All right. I guess we just all have to wait. We all have to wait until the Kickstarter. Everyone, if you really want to support Steve, he's gonna
Patreon.
That's when his coyness goes away.
If anyone wants to support my stream and my comics, patreon.com is the place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, Patreon doesn't play in a cool alert sound when I go to subscribe.
And there's no emojis. You can't put a price tag on emojis and emoticons.
Right, I get a little thing next to my name when I type in the chat if I subscribe here. There's no thing next to my name.
The thing. I want the thing next to my name. That's what it's all about.
Who doesn't?
I agree. I think the first line of my obit will read, he was occasionally on Twitch and YouTube, and also did comics. That would be the comics got to be priority. I think that's where I'm going with this. Is like it's gonna be dead cartoonist, not dead streamer.
Graphic designer, best known for Ringo Award ceremony mishaps.
I don't think I'm. Oh no, I'm not involved in the award ceremonies at all. I steer clear. I want to be eligible. That's why I don't get involved. I created their logos. I created their website. I wrote the first draft of the rules, and I said, Randy, I'm out of here. You leave me alone. I want to be eligible.
Wow, is that all?
What's that?
Is that all? I graphically designed the program.
No. John Gallagher
graphics for the slideshow. I wrote the rules.
No, John Gallagher does the slideshow and the program booklet. I have no idea who's going to win or lose. He keeps that they keep that from me. I'm not.
Well, I mean, you can do the program book without knowing who wins, but for some reason I thought you did that. I didn't know Gallagher did it.
No. John Max Meow Gallagher does the program book.
Illuminated Art is asking for me to tell secrets.
Tell secrets, David.
I don't think I have any secrets that are interesting enough to tell. Steve really likes coffee. There's a secret.
This just in. World exclusive.
Yeah. Here, just to show you how much. When we were guests together at Mark Nathan's shop for Free Comic Book Day in August, and we were offered delivered breakfast by Shelley Nathan. She texted and said, I will pick up breakfast for you two when I pick you up in the morning. It will already be piping hot and ready for you. What could I possibly get for you? And I'm like, I want an egg bagel sandwich with sausage. And Steve's like, I just want coffee. Lots of coffee.
I'm also... I have to stay trim. I have to look pretty for you, David.
What am I doing then?
You're having a much better breakfast than I am.
I'm just living my best Hobbit life. No dirt on Steve Illuminated. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think.
He doesn't answer his phone.
He doesn't answer his phone. Yeah, I don't have any dirt on Steve. No.
He makes bad streaming business decisions. That's the scoop.
That's no secret.
What do you do? All right.
Stop harassing you.
What are you working on right now? What are you doing at this ungodly hour?
Well, this is not an ungodly hour for me. I'm usually not going to be headed to bed for another 3-4 hours.
Wow.
I am working on a Little Muscard story. And I went down a rabbit hole of...
Literally?
Well, no, not literally. I am making probably unnecessary objects that I tell myself are so I can tell my story better. That I think are just ways for me to make objects. Because I want to make objects.
Fantastic.
I'm making. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I'm making things.
Okay.
Yeah.
When will you reveal them? Online con or after?
Maybe. Yeah, probably during.
Sweet. Another reason for everyone to tune in.
I had already done the equivalent of an architectural model today, but the most the most basic. I needed to draw 37 mice standing around in a circle.
Fantastic.
And I wanted like the camera's viewpoint to be above and kind of like a like a 3-point perspective kind of a shot. So,
do you wish, as cartoonists, we had a word other than camera?
Yes. I know Scotty Young has gotten mad at me about using that word.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't think of a better word, though. I use it all the time.
He just doesn't like it because he's like, it's comics, it's not movies. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's like, you can bend any reality. You don't have to fit a camera or a lens or obey any laws of physics.
We know you mean vantage point, but it's just a clumsy way of saying it, right?
Yes. So, yeah, the camera would be at a 3-point perspective.
Fantastic.
So, I printed out, I went into Photoshop, and I know a little trick about how to make stars in Photoshop. And you can set the number of points and the depth of the insert of those points.
Yep.
So I did that. I did a 37-pointed star, and I printed that out on a sheet of paper, and I was able to put it down on top of a piece of pink insulating foam and put little pinpoints through every point of the star. And then I took one of the Lego mice that I have, and I used a little stick of wood kind of put inside the foot, and I used it like a little toothpick to like poke the mouse figure to stay up, to stay in place on the foam spot in every one of those dots. But I only brought up one mouse guard or one Lego figure, so I just locked my camera into a tripod and then took a photo, moved the figure one space, took a photo, moved this photo, and then put them all together. And I was like, there, that's done. And then I'm like, I don't know if I love the angle of that shot.
Oh, I so get that. That's so wonderful.
Should I have been a little bit higher? Should I have gotten a little bit more of an extreme angle? Crap. So while I was thinking about that, then I was like, well, there are these like cards, almost like playing cards that a character holds up. And I was like, and I had already drawn some of them so that I had reference for them in case I had to draw them again. And I was like, oh, the next time the cards get held up, it should be different cards. Like, when you draw some cards, it's not always the, 2 of hearts and the 3 of clubs. Like, I need to show the 7 of hearts and the king of spades. But it's not that literal of a translation. But, yeah, so while I've been watching you, I've been making more cards, and I don't really have a good reason other than I'm enjoying making cards.
That's beautiful.
But pages aren't getting done.
But the pages will be better because of the work, right?
Let's hope. Let's tell ourselves that.
Yeah, exactly. It's comforting.
Illuminated's asking, you love my wands. Have I ever carved mice in wood? I did a relief piece of a mouse skeleton that was the book plate for 2020 that I carved in wood. But like a more sculpted, fully three-dimensional mouse, no. I've sculpted one in wax that was then cast in bronze when I was in college, but I have not carved a mouse in wood.
That's a great question. Do our listeners have any other questions for David while we have him online? This is the
All right. Well, I've got to call into a couple other streamers and let them know what I think about their streams. So
please do. Don't be a stranger. We'll have you on anytime you'd like. Thanks for being here.
Do I just stay on the line?
Anything to plug? Anything to plug while we? All right. Thank you, David.
Do I just stay on the line to find out who I get the check from?
Yeah, you do. You do. Just hang on the line. Just stay on the line. Carve more things out of insulation, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Bye, Steve.
Bye, Dave. Well then, I've missed about 1 million comments in chat. I apologize for that. Thank you so much for sharing the link, DEG, for the Patreon. Where are we? Oh my goodness, so much. Yeah, I want to get back. I do want to come around to something that you'd said, that I had, ham-handedly said, that it was like the amount of the support that people offer via Twitch is great, and it's one of those things where it just adds up incrementally. Where especially, one of the beautiful things about Twitch, I think, is still the notion of using your Amazon Prime subscription, because that's leaving money on the table. If so many people have Amazon Prime subscriptions, but they don't use the Twitch portion of that to award. I don't know I don't know what that's worth to a creator every month, but that's an amazing thing. But it's just, I think in the end, right out of the gate, even where Twitch was now, it was about the equivalent of the amount of money I get from ad revenue share from something like GoComics or something like that. So I think it's about, it wasn't insignificant. It was just not worth spiting the YouTube audience for. So at some point, is the money going to be good enough to spite the YouTube audience? If a platform isn't paying you, do you still do it? I guess that could be another question. A breakfast sandwich. Now I want breakfast. But anyway, so I'm at the point in the drawing that's right over there. Thank you again, David. You're awesome. But you know that. I'm at the point where I'm doing my color splash layer, which is kind of the thing, which is sort of a secret sauce thing that I do on my coloring. I stumbled onto it as basically I wanted my work to have a feel of like an oil painting, where there's an underpainting to it, and the color that you paint on the canvas as your first pass kind of shows through everything. And so what I do is I set a layer that's just set to color only, and I take another color, a neutral color, maybe a color that's somewhere else in the drawing. Usually it's in the environment, so if the environment's very green, I'll take a green brush, a big fat watercolor brush, and I splash that color on. And you can see that purple that I'm using right now. The notion is that there's light reflected off of the tabard, off of the cape, and it's mixing on the armor in a purple way. And so there's a little bit of purple in the cape, a little bit in all these little places. And it's sort of like just the environment peeking its way through in places. But I do it as an afterthought. I do it as a last step. I've got my shadows in there. I've got all these other things. And what it does for me is it stops. There's an effect that comic book coloring tends to have, which is very cellular, in that each, Superman's belt is one color, his underpants are another color, his leggings are another color, and there's no reflection, there's no crossover. Sometimes they might share a highlight, but that's the extent of it. There might be like a bright highlight down the side. That's the only thing that will unify them together. Very old school animation style, very simple. This kind of is I like this approach a lot, in that it gives maybe not that strong a purple, but usually in the areas of shadow I'll take a blue and I'll put that in there, and so suddenly the boots will not always be just this solid brown color and shades of brown. And the last thing I do is I lower the opacity of that layer, so the effect is there, but it's not beating people over the head with its vibrancy. It's not changing the color. It's not making the tabard anything other than blue. And about that, David's well-founded points about Twitch and leaving money on the table. That's an absolute certainty. I just think it's It's David grabbing Captain Kirk's shoulders and saying, "They're not going anywhere." Referring to Twitch. Was it David who said that? That they're not going anywhere? No, gosh, he wasn't to Kirk. Forgive me. That was the other. That was the Eric. That was the. That was to Khan. That was what's his name? Joaquin. Fantastic actor. I think he plays someone who's kind of Khan's son. I think it's hinted at that it might be Khan's son. I don't think they ever said that in the story, but he persuades Khan. So basically, I'm taking my morality and life lessons from the success that was Khan Noonien Singh. So what could possibly go wrong? So how much of the given these grayscale? The king is pretty much done. The king is done. I'm not doing the color splash on. I tend not to do the color splash on the king's clothes. Let me see. The coffee. It kind of cheap coffee. I used to work in a coffee shop when I was a kid. Kind of paying my way through college. Back when you could do that. It was a community college, but I worked as a short order cook and also waited tables. And I kind of got used to real simple coffee. I do like fancier stuff, but I like coffee flavored coffee. I do put a lot of cream and sugar in it. I turn it into ice cream essentially, but I don't have to go for anything like, some sort of expensive French press thing. Balloons. The balloons will be I'm gonna do afterwards because I don't want to give away the dialogue. But I think I like that color splash. I'm going to be a weasel and duplicate this page one more time, and then merge the the line work together and see what else I can do. Let me delete that. Let me flatten the king's colors. Undo. I just realized I want to undo that because of the glove. How do I do this? I do this in pieces. Okay. I'm going to duplicate the king's colors. Oh, I love having this new iPad that I can... Okay, so flatten that. Oh heavens. Let me do this. Copy. Oh, sorry, select. I didn't bring over the shadow with me when I did that. So copy, paste. Okay. So the king's sword is there by itself. That's what I wanted. Turn that layer off. Now the king's colors, I'm going to go in and delete the color for that glove and that hand. And that way when I flatten those colors together, I can have all those bits separate. Okay, excellent. I'm going to merge those together. I think when you flatten a group, it takes the name of the things at the bottom. Whatever's bottom most on the list, that's the name of the grouped thing takes that name. Or the flattened thing. Quimp colors. Let me see on the chat. Do I own a coffee grinder? No. I do not. I don't buy Starbucks that often. Zoom in, please. I'm on a cell. Illuminated, you poor thing. Oh, zoom in on the drawing or on my microphone. Like, hello. I might have modified things when I was on the phone. It was hard because I still needed to see all the pieces that I was working on. Okay, so I think the king, Quimp's colors are there. I'm happy with that. The shadows are there. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna merge Quimp's colors together and get his armor, and I'm gonna merge it all together. They're now a single. What the? Oh, I didn't bring the line work with me. There it is. Okay, so now the Quimp pieces are all self-contained. Excellent. Now, what are you here? Let me see what's selected. Ah, that must be the king's ornament. Yeah. Oh no, that's shadow, isn't it? What are you? Oh no, that's the lightened ornament. There we go. I'm going to change that. I'm going to merge these two together. I've got plenty of backup copies now. That's what I wanted. I wanted that kind of texture, not the pure black. Okay, cool. King ornament, king inks. Merge those together. I can't zoom in on the. I can't zoom in on the menu to show that detail, but pull this out. Great. So the king is in the foreground for most of these, for panels 1 and 2. So not most. So he's half of them. I'm now going to cut the Quimp off the background and put him on a layer above the king. So now in panels 2 and 3, sorry, 3 and 4. That's what it's 3 and 4. He's now in front. And so these swoops, let me break these up some more. So these foreground, I'm going to grab the king foreground figures, which are these layers. It's a 3-finger swipe down on the screen to call that contextual menu up. So I sometimes have to bite the pencil and make that happen. Okay, then I'm going to bring this sword down and put the swoops in. I'm actually thinking I'm going to I might change the color of the swoops so that so Quimps will be bluish tinted and the kings will be gray. Little lightsabery, but not too heavy, I don't think. I like coffee, but recently switched to hibiscus tea to lower my blood pressure. Oh, that's a good idea. DG says, I don't drink coffee, but I feel obligated to ask. The YouTubers I moderated for also sell coffee. Oh, really? What kind of coffee do they sell? But my favorite coffee is from a company, a grocery chain called Wegmans, which is in the Northeast. It is not in Florida where I live, and I regret leaving. I regretted leaving the. Turn these layers off. Then the Washington D.C. area when I did. Oops, I Oh, it's on its own layer. I regretted leaving the Washington D.C. area when I did because for many reasons. I miss a lot of my friends, and I miss Wegmans coffee. Getting a little choked up thinking about Wegmans coffee. It's just a breakfast blend. It's super simple. But I'm easy. Shameless plug. Carlin Brothers Coffee. All this food chat. Who's heading to Waffle Hut afterwards? Well, I'm sorry. I missed... Brandy was kind enough to come on. I missed Brandy. That's so sweet. I think that was also a good case for doing comic conventions. I met Brandy at a comic book convention. And I think I met... I think that's where I first met DEG as well. I don't think... I was only barely on Twitch at that time. So I don't think I would have stumbled onto anyone's channel yet. But I really appreciate all the feedback, all the thoughtfulness. Now, these swoops had a outline, which I want to keep because I do like the... You merge those together. I do like the impact lines. Do they have a blonde roast? Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna click on this link unless it breaks my browser. Carlin Brothers World of Coffee. So they are streamers on Twitch. I'll keep that page open. I'll check it out. Well, I'll meet you if I ever attend ECCC. I would like to. That's a convention I've never done. I would love to do that. Okay, so these swoops and swooshes are roughly in the right place. I think I'm going to have to move them to other locations, but there's going to be adding sound effects like clang and things like that to the environment. Tell you what, I talked about making those blue. Let me do that now. I'm going to set the alpha lock. And for Quimp, I'm going to select this color of his sword. And then drag that onto the swoop and increase the threshold. Otherwise, there'll be little gray pixels around the edges. Okay. I'm going to have to move things down. Hang on. I have made a big ol' error on Quimp. I can fix it. I didn't color his eyes or teeth. They're flat color. I can fix that and patch it from the previous one, and this is why I save many variations. The cowardice is strong in this one. Lost the stream when I went to the coffee page. I understand. It's not fully roasted. I do know the roasting time between the first and second. Oh. The citrus and deep chocolate notes. So I'm going to put some shadows. How are we doing? I haven't looked on anything. Confused by the guest appearance by David. But I hope everyone's having a nice time on this lovely Saturday night. The king's eyes are done. So these are the finished emotions. I don't think we had those in the initial inks because we weren't coloring. We hadn't yet colored Quimp on Thursday. I don't think, or how far we had gotten. Add one more layer of shadow under the eye, on the top of the eye. All right, I fill the whole layer with color. Merge all those together and use the eyes and teeth as a selection. Invert it and clear. Clear again. Merge down. I'm going to give him some... I like to put a little bit of eyelid at the top. Okay, so I will flatten those colors, copy the whole thing, undo the flattening that I just did. Now go back to the other document. I'm glad I haven't moved the figures around just yet. And I'm gonna paste. Oh, right. Because I've merged the shadows and the inks. I've got to go back. Gotta undo. Go back to the previous document. There's no shadow, very little color splash on Quimp's face. So I'm not so concerned about that. Quimp. Copy. Undo, undo, undo. Good. Fingers crossed. Good. And it becomes easy to tell which ones I didn't bring over the chainmail with me. So now I'm going to do this one at a time. Copy and paste. Now, if there is any color splash problem, it'll become apparent pretty quickly, I think, when I turn the... A little bit extra is blocking the shadow there. I'm just going to delete it just a little bit. Trim off the bottom. But that looks fine. That fixes the problem. Okay. that layer back on. Let's do it again down here. How late are you streaming? It's like almost 1 a.m. there. Yeah, I'll be wrapping up soon, I think. I see all caps. Always funnier. Well, all the YouTubers left after getting trash talked by David, but your loyal viewers are here. I agree. I think I'll probably be wrapping up soon. I think once I get these replacement faces in, I'm going to... Heavens, let's look the right thing. There we go. Copy and paste. One more face. Oh, no, no need. Okay, okay. So... Perfect. Okay. I think that's fixed. Thank you all. Oh, no. I think we're done. I think the balloons you'll see them in the next version of it. The next step is going to be the balloons will go in place. And when I'm going to move the figures around, especially in panels 3 and 4 to give more room for the text. Some of this sword contact there, I want to keep it if I can, but if it gets covered by word balloons, so be it. I think it may. But I'm also in my head trying to think, can I move some of the dialogue around to get the same amount of information across while still letting every panel have a sword contact. But I'm also going to break out the sword tip there so it pops out of the panel board. Oh, sorry, not that one. Not that one. Just this one. I want the forward sword to do that. The king's sword there may pop out of the border. And it's possible Quimps will when I move that, if I move the figures down. David, I can give me 1 second. Let me show. Let me copy the file over if I haven't already. Let me switch us over to. You're gonna have to see my gigantic noggin. I put in a placeholder, or I created a placeholder just for. Here it is. Copy. Just in case I was going to do the balloons while we're streaming. Excuse me. Here we go. Back with chat. Hey, it didn't look... Okay, so roughly like that. Roughly. Currently with the character count I have. So I do think when you see something like, let me change the so when you see the red area where it intersects with the panel border, that's where the balloon will actually be cut out of the shape. I don't do those panels next to each other because that can be what I mean. The balloon in this case would be something like this. It will intersect, and I will then erase this line. So it lets the white of the page will become the white of the edge, the bleeding edge of the balloon. So the king, and then Quimp. I don't want to cheat and have it go under the sword blade, but you know, I think if this balloon is shorter, I can just do something like that. Then I think the king is talking in this panel, and this balloon will be contained within the panel, but go behind Quimp's head. Same thing with this one, be contained within the panel. And this one, I think, once these figures move down, all the stuff will have quite a bit more room. I think it was the king saying this line here. Fairly certain it was the king. It was the king. And these layers will generally be the balloon layers. The line work for the balloons will be placed below the figures, and then the colors. It's probably going to be one simple background. I might put in some simple carpeting from they're inside the tent fighting, and then just put in some simple background showing the drapery. Nothing, and I'll just repeat that from panel to panel. The background's going to be so irrelevant on this episode. So that's where it is. Panel King, you have the talent and skill, but not the title. Like a book. Oh, now I have to throw out all my dialogue. Will you lose Quimp's fist in panel 4? I don't think I will. I think it will stay. If it might be partially covered, but I don't like it anyway. I think the rendering's fine, but one of the things that bothers me about it is the fact that this horizontal and this horizontal are the same, and there's some coloring outside the lines. I have on my border layer, I've created a mask which will block everything out. Let me show you what I mean. I do this when I'm doing my color flatting. I create a white shape that acts as a mat for the line work. So this where the king's sword is poking out right here, I'm going to open the mat up and cut the way the border, the panel border. I might do that here too. When the sword comes down, it will poke out there, and his sword may poke out there. I'm also probably going to change this panel border here to make this tangent not a thing. Not entirely a tangent, it's tangent adjacent, and so that's enough to bother me. Okay, David, I'll do an alternative version with this. Our first collaboration. So, I cannot thank you all enough for being here. You're fantastic. David, thank you for your insight and your advice as always. I appreciate it, even if it falls on deaf ears. Gigantic deaf ears. I appreciate it. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Also, I'm looking forward to, I'll be checking the stream out on YouTube to check the volume and audio quality, things like that. Hopefully it's going to work and everything will be great. And to everyone who's stopped by tonight, thank you so much. If you're catching a replay of this later on, be sure to check out the coffee link that was posted by DEG and David Peterson and the online con. You will all be there. I'm certain it's in April. And to all my wonderful Twitch subscribers, you're still wonderful. I can't take your money. I can't do it. I can't do it. Our relationship's not about money. It's about love. Some people don't understand that. So I thank you all so much. And please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/Steve Conley. I'm Steve Conley, creator of the webcomic The Middle Age, free to read online on I almost said Twitch, free to read online on WEBTOON's, Tapas, GoComics, and my own website, middleagecomic.com. We're not going to raid anybody. And we got 5 people here. I could try a raid. Let's try the raid. Who should I raid? What poor sap would love to have us observing them for a few minutes? DEG sees through my sham immediately. All right, here we go. I have no idea how to spell it. We're going to go see the person who's been doing some lovely... I can't see it because it's just going to see an ad. I could try to spell the name properly, if I can. They do lots of 3D modeling. Not 3D modeling, excuse me. They do miniature painting. Let's check them out. They're really awesome. youtube.com/raid. This might work. The only thing is, another bad thing is, since I'm not connected in the Twitch world, it's like going to take the full 60 seconds or whatever to send us over there to see it. But they do lovely miniature painting. Really cool stuff, and they were doing a lot of stuff to support Ukraine. Some fundraising and things like that. But holy cow, beautiful work. WAPPELLIOUS. It could work. That might work, might not. We'll find out. Thank you all so much. You're lovely. It worked. It seems to go through on Twitch, so we might be over there. If you're following this on YouTube, your stream will just end. Actually, I'm just going to click the button right now. Thank you, YouTubers. You're fantastic.